Fo Alexander is a serial online entrepreneur who has founded Girl Talk with Fo, a site dedicated to helping women dump debt and build bank so that they can create the life they want. After becoming a new mother, she also founded Motherhood, which is a site meant to help women master motherhood and money. She's also an author of Dump Debt and Build Bank. Hey, Fo, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
Doing good. I did want to talk a little bit about your book you have called Dump Debt and Build Bank. I think the title is pretty explanatory for what the book is about, but who can benefit from this book and what else does it actually cover?
Okay, so the book, Dump Debt and Build Bank, The Everyday Chick's Guide to Money. This book was specifically written for the everyday chick. It's written for me when I was trying to get out of debt and didn't have a resource or a guide from someone who could relate to me. So it's for the everyday woman who's trying to get her finances together. So the whole premise is getting out of debt, but the other half of that is also building bank or building wealth. And so I talk about the strategies for getting out of debt, different options that you have, how to talk to your lender, that type of stuff. But then I go into how do you start building wealth? So how do you create an online business? How do you start a side hustle? And I also get into how do you negotiate your salary so that you can get paid the money that you deserve or get paid more for your skills. And then I round out the book in more of a legacy style to talk about creating a will and an estate plan for your family, getting life insurance, all those things that are important that I think sometimes are missed when we're talking about personal finances. Yes, we know the budget. Yes, we know how to save. Yes, we should open a bank account. Yes, we should get out of debt. But also we should have life insurance and we should have an estate plan and we should have a plan for our family in the case that something happens to us. So it's a holistic view of personal finances from debt to building wealth.
That's great, because I do feel like it is confusing because we are told to budget, to save, but then no one really talks about those other subjects. So to find that all in one place, super resourceful.
And that was the whole idea. Like I didn't find that resource when I was trying to get out of debt or when I was trying to get my money together. Like I had books that talked about budgeting, but no one told me, hey, you should probably have life insurance outside of your employer because if you leave, that life insurance goes away. I wanted to put it in a place just for women so that they could have the resources they need to be excel in their finances.
And you talk a lot about selling digital offerings, and especially for moms on your site, Mama and Money. So for anyone looking to make more money online and have different streams of income, how can someone start kind of looking at what they can offer to start building their own businesses?
So the one thing that I love to encourage moms especially to do is to make money online. One, because it's flexible and you don't, in the crazy pandemic that we're in, you don't have to leave your home in order to do it. So look at the skills that you have and look at the expertise that you have and figure out a way that you can monetize it. The thing is we all have something that people want to learn. We often underestimate our knowledge and our skill, but there's always something that we know that someone else doesn't know and that they're interested in learning. So we just have to figure out how do we package that in a way, how do we market it in a way that other people can gain value from it and that we can also use that to help us in our financial goals as well.
You found yourself in over $78,000 in student loan debt after finishing school. And although you had the help from your parents and scholarships as well, it still really wasn't enough to cover the cost of school. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So my debt, like you said, was all student loan debt. So with undergrad, I did have scholarships. I didn't qualify for financial aid. And so my parents had to pay out of pocket whatever, wasn't covered by those scholarships. So at the end of those 4 years, I had roughly $24,000. So by the time I actually started my debt payoff journey, it was at $78,000. But, before then it was well over north of $80,000 in student loan debt.
Yeah. And I read that your boyfriend at the time, now husband, he was completely debt free. So when you had all this debt, how did he feel about that and kind of help you shift your money mindset?
Yeah, so he was completely debt free. He had already paid off his student loans after the deferment after undergrad. So he kind of motivated me because I knew that the relationship was going to be serious and I didn't want to come into a marriage with that much debt. So he offered me some advice, a book to read. I read the book and started paying off my debt after I read the book. So he was very supportive. And then once we got married, we actually combined finances. And that's how we ended up paying off $47,000 in 6 months. So that was the remainder of the debt. But certainly throughout the time that we were dating, he was very encouraging of my journey to pay off debt. Obviously, he had done it. So I had someone who was supportive and that I could talk to on this journey. And so I learned a lot from him. And then also I was motivated by him because I knew we were going to be serious and I didn't want to bring that financial burden into our marriage.
And when you did start aggressively paying off that debt, was there anything major in your budget that you had to cut out, or really was it just like allocating everything that your expenses were?
So I was a huge spender when it came to like makeup and hair and that type of stuff. So that was some major things that I had to cut out. But the biggest thing that I did was actually I moved. I downsized my living. So when I first moved to South Carolina, I was living in a townhome and it was pretty expensive. And so when I really got serious about paying off the debt, I decided to downsize to an apartment that cost a lot less. So I was able to use that extra cash flow to put towards my debt.
Yeah, I think that's a big one for people. So with that being said, how has becoming debt-free changed your life and helping others now become debt-free? Why is that important as well?
Becoming debt-free is a complete life changer because it brings freedom. Like you have so much freedom when you don't have debt. Like we have freedom to give. One of the big things that we did once we became debt-free was actually travel. And that was one of the real reasons that I wanted to become debt-free is because I wanted the ability to travel and to not have to worry about paying off a credit card bill after, it was over because I had done that before. So we were able to travel all across Europe. And that was one of the reasons that I really wanted to become debt free. So you have that freedom to be able to do the things in life that you want to do. And then we also have the freedom to give like we want to be able to give to other people and to help other people pay off debt or to help other students not have to get into student loan debt by providing a scholarship. So being debt free gives you that freedom. And that's the freedom that I want other people to experience as well. So the reason that I teach it and the reason that I really target women to get out of debt is so that they can live the life that they want to live, so that they can have that freedom and that they can ultimately have options. When you have no debt, you have the option if you want to work or not. You have the option to travel. You have the option to live where you want to live. So it just brings freedom that I think everyone should experience in life.
If you were to still have that debt, would things be much different for you?
For sure. So if we weren't debt free, then it would certainly be a huge burden. Like I think about the number of people who don't have kids because of the cost. And a lot of that is because they have debt that they have to worry about paying off as well. So we were able to, one, have a child. I do actually know people who aren't having kids because of debt. But we were able to save and pay for the expenses that come along with having a child. And so being debt free allowed us that freedom, but it also allows us to put her on a different financial trajectory than we were. Like she doesn't have to worry about student loans. She can have an upper hand when she gets older because of the things that we're doing now with our finances.
Yeah. And congratulations. You just had her in March in the middle of all this craziness in the world.
Thank you. Certainly crazy.
Yeah. And then anything else that you want to kind of tell our audience and take away from this?
The big thing I think that everyone should take away is one, your personal finance journey is personal, it's your own. So definitely just leverage the tools that are available to you to create that journey specific to you. More importantly, I encourage everyone to get out of debt. It brings about a freedom that is just unmatched, unparalleled, so to speak. And especially in a time like this that we're living in, unprecedented times, you want to do things for your finances that will reduce your risk. So do what you can to get your finances together, to get out of debt, to save money so that hopefully this doesn't happen again, but you are prepared and you reduce the amount of risk that you have in your finances. And then ultimately you have freedom. So that's the one thing I will share. Use the resources that are out here. And I would definitely love for you guys to check out the book, but get out of debt and reduce your financial risk.
That's what we're all about at Debt.com too. And we know every financial situation is going to be different and unique to each person. So we appreciate all of your advice and your wisdom you shared today, Fo. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.